everyone, my name is Mandi Lynn. I'm the author of the fantasy novels Essence and I Am Mercy and thriller novel She's Not Here, and also the creator of AuthorTuber Academy. And today I'm teaming up to talk about empathy, emotion, and anything in between. So today's video is actually a collab video. I'm teaming up with Murtaugh because we both wanted to talk about this topic a little bit. She had posted something on Twitter, and we both just got to talking, and we chatted over video chat to kind of talk a little bit about empathy and how it relates to writing, how absorbing other people's emotions can kind of affect you as a reader and a writer. So if you would like to watch her video, it will be linked down below. Otherwise, we're gonna move on with my video. And for my video, I'm gonna be talking specifically about how empathy impacts my writing. So empathy basically means that you absorb the energy of everyone around you. So for me, it means if the whole room of people is happy, I'm happy. If the room of people is angry, I'm angry. And sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes that's a bad thing. Now, in terms of writing, I like to relate it to if the writing is sad, then I am sad. And by that, I mean that, how do I explain this? So the first two novels I wrote, Essence and I Am Mercy, I like to say are emotionally driven novels. There's a lot in there in terms of emotion, in the plot and what comes out of the characters and different stuff like that, and I'm very proud of that. Unfortunately, I write like that because at the time when I was writing those novels, I was a very emotional person. In high school, I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder. I took medication for it. I saw a therapist for it. I'm happy to say that I'm doing much better today, but it took me years to get over it. And one of the biggest things I did to help get over my anxiety was to write. I felt a very strong need whenever I had my anxiety was to write. Like, I would feel very antsy, and until I got my words onto paper, I wouldn't feel better. But once they were on paper, it felt like they were out of my mind permanently. So that happened a lot when I was writing Essence and I Am Mercy. I Am Mercy especially is a very dark novel. So flash forward a few years to when I write She's Not Here. I've grown as a person, my interests have grown, different things like that. My writing style has changed. I Am Mercy in Essence is emotionally driven. She's Not Here is a psychological thriller. It's very different from a fantasy novel, and while it is still emotional, it's still emotional driven. It's a different type of emotion. So Essence and I Am Mercy were driven by the type of anxiety, maybe even depression emotions that you get, whereas She's Not Here was driven by the type of emotions that are associated with determination, and almost crazed determination. Willow was very desperate to reach her goal, and she was willing to do anything to get to that goal. Now, why did I not write the same sort of emotions that I used to write? The answer is pretty simple, because in order to write that type of emotion, I need to be able to experience those types of emotions. So for Essence and I Am Mercy, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a happy person when I wrote it. I'm not gonna say I was depressed, because I wasn't. I overthought everything. I couldn't relax. I just felt like I always needed to do something. There was no such thing as sitting still when I had my anxiety. I just needed to do something to make sure my mind was occupied. I don't need to do that today. I can sit back and relax. I like to think I'm a much more relaxed person today than I was back then. But if I wanted to write a story like that again, I would need to jump fully into those emotions again. And I'm afraid, I'll be completely open when I say this, but I'm afraid that if I jump into those emotions too much, I won't be able to snap myself out of it again. So you might be able to understand this if you've read a book that had a really emotional scene and it made you cry. You jumped fully into that character's shoes. So for me, it's kind of the same thing where I jumped fully into my character's shoes, but sometimes I can't take those shoes off again. And as someone who's worked so hard to get over their anxiety, I really don't want to take a few steps backward. Now, in a my review of She's Not Here, I actually had someone comment on the fact that She's Not Here didn't have the emotional impact that my other novels had, which I completely agree with, but it wasn't meant to have an emotional impact. The impact it was meant to have was to have the impact of what decision would you make if you were in the same situation as Willow. Whereas the other books, for Essence, Emma is dealing with all these emotions, and she needs to deal specifically with those emotions. And I Am Mercy is almost the same way. Ada de Luna her family doesn't love her, but she wants to save them. She's dealing with these emotions. It's all about dealing with emotions in the first two novels, whereas the third novel is dealing with a situation. I mean, you could argue the same for both ways, but when I approached it as a writer, that's how I wrote it. Now, do I think I'm gonna write really emotional stuff later on in life? I would like to say I hope not. I hope that I continue to write this type of stuff that I do with She's Not Here, where it's emotional enough that I feel comfortable, but not too emotional that I'm afraid something will happen. Because honestly, if you ever do catch me writing really, really emotional stuff like that again, it's probably because I'm not in a good place. And as someone who's still, like, if the anxiety and panic attacks I went through, it feels so far away that when I had them, I felt like a different person, yet it's still too close for me to be comfortable with touching that again. And I guess that's kind of why I don't write emotional stuff like that. I don't feel comfortable, and I don't feel safe writing it anymore. And I'm curious if you guys maybe have the same experiences as I do. And again, this relates to empathy in the way that instead of just experiencing the emotion in the book or in the writing and moving on, it kind of sticks with me a little bit too long. So let me know if you experience the same thing by chatting about it in the comments down below. I would love this to be a sort of discussion that we could have. Maybe people can realize that we've all gone through a lot of the same stuff, and that it's okay to be afraid to write an emotion because you don't want to experience it too much. That's all for me. If you would like to watch Destiny's video about empathy, be sure to check it out. It will be linked down below. Otherwise, thank you all for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe.